All right, welcome to the fourth and final game of the evening in Angeline era. Explore a secret-filled land in this 3D action adventure where every level is hidden in plain sight. Travel and fight through a vast, unmarked overworld. The next surprise is only a single search away. So this game comes to us from our friends over at Anglesiac Productions. And Anglesiac is one of my least favorite. Whatever. I hate pronouncing it. Point is, we have covered a number of their games on the show. And in fact, we interviewed them around the time Anodyne 2 was in development. And this game continues that proud tradition of being a ultra quirky PlayStation 1 type game that may have gotten lost beneath the sands of time. In this case, this game looks a lot like Ys, and it plays a lot like Ys as well. Old school Ys, as in like the first two Ys games. I want to say Ys 4. I've Seen Ys 6, maybe in looks, but here's the thing. By Ys 6, any of the Ys games where they did the bumps combats, this game is picking up that tradition and bringing it into the third dimension. It's actually quite the bold experiment. Because I can't really think of it action adventure Zelda Ys inspired type thing that did bump combat in like the PlayStation 1 era.
I feel like bump combat was traditionally a result of games where they literally didn't have room for an attack button.
It probably was something to get around the limitations of like 80s Japanese computers. You know, maybe not so much a button, but maybe animation. Because like even the NES and TurboGrafx 16 versions and so on and so forth have the bump combat. But all right, so this game is a lot, and it's probably not. It's apparent, but not apparent, because okay, you see how the world is designed, and you notice how your player character Tex is moving? We've got quite the contrast here because it's trying to marry old school design with more modern, or at least which would have been current technological proceedings. That is to say, this game looks grid-based, doesn't it? Like it's all built out of all out of tiles. That's the lie, because it's full 360 degrees. And let me tell you, that just created a disconnect for me that I could not get over. Because here's the thing: tiled design, grid movement has a certain play style. Think like in 3D Tomb Raider or Crash Bandicoot in the PlayStation days. You know, a bit rigid. This like full 360 degree platforming control, like you're in Super Mario 64 or something like that, is a lot more free-flowing, a lot more slippery. And it's just, this is probably a me thing, but it's just something I couldn't really get to grips with. Because, I just kept expecting to move a lot stiffer than what was on display here. Now bringing bump combat into the third dimension is its own unique thing.
It was a choice that was made. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, nor was I, I'll be honest. And I should mention, I haven't looked super deep into the reviews, but I know this game has been getting a ton of praise. As the developers' previous games have gotten. It's just, I've never completely jived with Angelic's design choices. I think I like this more than Semaphore, but less than Anodyne 2. But yeah, bringing bump combat into full 360-degree 3D, it's something you're gonna have to get used to. And like last week's Death Howl, it's a flavoring that you're probably either going to love or not. Because, I'll give it to this game, it stands out. It's just, I can also see why nobody tried to do this. Because it's really annoying. Now, it isn't 100% bump combat all the time. Because you will get additional sub-weapons to, projectile weapons to supplement your combat. But, once again, this game is ultra fucking quirky. So, your main sub-weapon or secondary weapon is a gun that can only shoot up. And when I say up, I mean like the direction of north. Mm-hmm. Which is at one hand very creative and also supremely fucking annoying. I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. I mean, you can see it.
Is there any kind of reason?
Be quirky.
Yeah, basically that. Like, it's like, I don't think you're really given an in-universe reason. It just, they're like, you can only shoot up.
And it reloads by hitting enemies or changing rooms.
Yep.
Specifically rooms you have not been to.
Would you like me to help you brainstorm?
Did somebody actually bring up Gemini?
Yeah. Stupid phone. Sorry about that.
It's
anyway,
fine.
Like I said, ultra quirky is how I would describe this entire game. From the search functionality, like you really do have to search for all the levels.
Well, and there's also when I did the search thing, it made me do like this almost WarioWare-esque minigame. Yeah.
You got to do that in order to enter the levels properly.
Is that all the time?
Yeah, for to get into the combat levels. Towns less so. And like I said, this is a very strange game up and down the line.
I'm not a fan of how little save points there are.
I mean, if you're going to go old school, that's going to be the kind of design you're going to be dealing with.
I get that, but even like old school games still had a few more save points than just the one at the start of the level. Especially in the first area. Like, yes, if this was an endgame dungeon, sure. But this is, at least in the demo, this is my first experience. And it's turning out to be a fairly grueling gauntlet.
Right. Let me see. And yeah, your main goal on, for the action stages is to collect scales, which will allow you to level up, which you do by heading into a dream and talking to this dancing lady. Like I said, this game is just weird.
That scales like a lizard? Or scales like a were?
Maybe a lizard scale? Like, I don't actually know. Like, they look like the scales in Ocarina of Time.
Are they the things that look like coins almost?
Yeah, at the end you'll see it at the end of the level.
Oh, at the end of the level, I was gonna say, because I've been picking up these coin things. I don't know what they're.
Yeah. Those are coins which you use at shops to buy upgrades and health. Yeah. So food is a additional mechanic, and say it with me now, it's ultra quirky, but perhaps less so than other games. It's actually more realistic, as in you get food items, you consume them, they're one-time use. And you use food items not to recover health, necessarily. It's to extend your health bar. It's something you do if you're having trouble with a level. Yeah. And surprisingly, that's about all I got here. Like the mechanics are fairly simple in their design, but the elegance is in their implementation. And yeah, like there's a lot of players who have fallen absolutely in love with this game. I am not one of them. I respect it, but I also got tired of it after about 7 hours. Which is honestly more than I was expecting.
Oh, I think I found the end of the level.
Yeah, you got to break that open, and then you'll see what the scale looks like.
Found one scale.
Okay,
right.
But it's not like a scale is in the thing you use to weigh stuff.
Right.
No. Like, it looks more like a guitar pick, if I'm being honest.
So fish scale, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, in terms of pricing, this game is going to be a bit on the expensive side, running you $25 dues. Like, I can definitely see why it's $25. I'd say play the demo first.
Yeah.
Because it's a fine game, but like the developer's other works, you kind of have to be invested on what they're selling here, quite literally. And everything on display here is a bit too subjective for me to honestly state, like, this is a good game objectively. It's just a game that you may not jive with.
Mm-hmm.
That that is the determinations reviewers have to make. So I guess a nominal recommendation, but definitely download the demo to see if you are the kind of person who likes the bump combat brought to 3D space and buried under a ton of very quirky design choices.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns here?
I think I'm good.
Alex?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, then. So, yeah, I think that'll about do it for this review and indeed this review session. So, let me see here. Coming up on the week ahead. Coming up on Wednesday, January 21st, we'll be having Joe Leatier, I think, of No Quarter Software. So they are a publisher of very quirky games. In fact, we just covered one of them on the program in Shooty Robot Invasion. They're also the publisher of the Brazilian Drug Dealer series. The third game of which is currently undergoing, I hesitate to use a full-on viral movement, but, Civi just took a look at it. In his 2005 odds and ends. And Trav Guy might be looking at it soon as well. So, and also Gamble Layer. Don't know what this is yet. And we do have a Friday show scheduled. Just the guest hasn't gotten back yet. But in case that does occur, on Friday, January 23rd, we'll be having Bruno Anetta of Flatline Studios on the program. They are the developers and publishers of Into the Grid. Try to guess what this is.
Something cyberpunk.
Yes. It's a cyberpunk roguelike deck builder. I'm just going to call this Indie Trends the game.
I was going to say, did you just read off a buzzword sheet, my friend?
Technically, yes. If only because that is the actual... those are 3 buzzwords, capitalized no less, on the Steam page.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. Anyway, and we do have a new episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents happening as well, so look for that. And until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.